Hey everyone, back tuning into today's Very Dimby Weekend forecast. Today, as always, on a Saturday, you'll have a look at the weather for the next 7 days across the British Isles. It's going to be an unsettled week coming up. There'll be bands of rain moving in off the Atlantic, particularly affecting the west early in the week, and then probably becoming more widespread across many parts of the country through the middle and latter stages of the week. With winds from the south, though, going to be a pretty mild week coming up. Now, despite the rain and some wind that I've got coming up this week, nothing compared to what's been going on in Mexico, where Hurricane Patricia has been bearing down on the Mexicans. It was a Category 5 hurricane when it made landfall. It's weakened, though, quite considerably across Mexico over the past few hours, but it's still producing a lot of very heavy rain and strong winds as well. It's not quite as catastrophic as it was a few hours ago. This is the image of Patricia from the Weather Channel, and you can see from the vibrancy of the colour just how torrential the rain was, and probably still is. I think there will still be some very heavy bursts of rain around, but things are calming down just a little bit compared to how they were earlier on, but certainly a very impactful weather event going on in Mexico, probably at least partly tied in with El Nino. And if you want to know what the latest situation is with El Nino, there's going to be a new update for El Nino this evening, probably around 5-6 o'clock. On the ENSO page, there'll be a video and a written report on the current situation in the equatorial part of the Pacific Ocean. But I think this hurricane probably ties in with the El Nino. It's a very classic sort of scenario that you get hurricanes hitting Mexico and those parts of Latin America when you've got these El Nino events going on. Also, of course, impacting Southern America and having an impact on the Grand Prix that's taking place in Texas this weekend as well. So all these things are sort of tying in with the El Nino event that we've been talking about at Galvez for several months. Right, let's get on with the weather for the weekend across the British Isles. And this is the latest radar picture from the weatheroutlook.com. You can find the link to the Weather Outlook on the links page. Excuse me. So we've got quite a bit of rain coming across the country at the moment. It's a pretty grim old day of it. The cold front is fairly well defined, though. It's this back edge of the rain band just here, and behind that it turns brighter but also showery with some quite heavy showers for western parts of Scotland. Also cold as well, and one or two of those showers in the far north of Scotland could turn wintry this afternoon. So here's the synoptic pressure chart from WeatherCentral.de. You find the link to Weather Central and Weather Outlook, of course, on the links page. So we've got this cold front coming down across the country, and then behind that, we've got a little bit of a transient ridge just starting to topple in. So this area of cloud and rain we've got across many parts of the country will be moving southwards and eastwards through the course of this afternoon. Probably not clearing East Anglia and South East England, though, until it goes dark. So really quite a wet and miserable day in the south-southeast. It will be brightening up, though, behind that band of rain in the north and the west. So sunshine and showers will develop across Scotland and Northern Ireland, and those showery conditions will start to push southwards and eastwards in towards Northern England and Wales, possibly the Midlands too, by the end of the afternoon. Now, it is a cold front coming down, so behind the cold front, as the name implies, we'll be turning colder. So for Scotland and Northern Ireland, barely into double figures, 9, 10, 11 degrees. For England and Wales, still up to around 14 or 15. Of course, not feeling particularly mild and persistent rain, but it is milder down in the south, cold in the north, and it will turn cold enough for one or two of those showers to turn a little bit wintry across the far north of Scotland by the end of the afternoon, especially over high ground. Overnight, the high pressure will be ridging through the country, so many parts will be turning dry. Could still be some showers left for north and west Scotland, but the bulk of the country will have a dry and a fine night. It's going to turn quite cold under that ridge with winds falling light. Temperatures will be dropping at least down to 4, 5, 6 degrees. Some rural places could go low enough for frost, with temperatures getting perilously close to freezing. As we move through into Sunday, this next area of low pressure will be starting to try and move in from the Atlantic. There's a weather front ahead of it that's going to bring cloud and outbreaks of rain to northern and western parts of Scotland, possibly Northern Ireland as well. But most parts of the UK will actually be dry on Sunday, with good sunny spells coming through, especially in the morning, probably turning more hazy through the course of the afternoon, especially in the west. Temperatures are going to be cool though, despite the sunshine. We're about into double figures, so in the north at around 8 degrees, in the south probably around 11 or 12. It's certainly going to feel pretty autumnal. And of course, the clocks are going back an hour tonight, so when you get that, when you go back to GMT, that really does herald the arrival of the autumn and winter season. So as we move through into Monday, where the high pressure is to the east of the country, it is clinging on to the east. We've got this deep area of low pressure out in west. So a bit of a meteorological battle is taking place actually, with weather fronts trying to come in from the west, but being blocked to some degree by this high pressure to the east. Winds are from the south, so at least it will be mild, but we have cloud and outbreaks of rain with fairly strong winds across Ireland and western parts of the UK, particularly Wales and southwestern England. Some quite heavy rain in places. Central and eastern parts of England and Scotland probably have a fair amount of sunshine in the morning, turning increasingly cloudy though for the afternoon. With winds from the south, temperatures are going to eventually reach around 16 degrees in the south. That's 61 Fahrenheit. It is above average for the end of October. Now, that weather front makes very little progress as we go from Monday into Tuesday, so I'm afraid for Ireland, Wales, southwest England, you're likely to keep persistent outbreaks of fairly heavy rain for over 24 hours probably in those areas. So that could clock up some quite high rainfall totals down in the southwest by the end of June. Probably going to be keeping an eye on a little bit of flash flooding perhaps down there. Central eastern parts of England and much of Scotland will be dry with quite a lot of cloud around, a few brighter sunny spells coming through, but generally a fair amount of cloud. Winds are from the southwest, so it'll still be mild, with temperatures possibly reach around 17 degrees, 63 Fahrenheit in the south, and even in the north we should be up to around 12 or 13 across much of Scotland. That weather probably makes more progress overnight Tuesday into Wednesday, so I expect a band of rain to cross the country, and Wednesday could start off quite wet for Scotland and eastern parts of England, but eventually that rain should clear away, and then we go into a sunshine and showers type scenario, although by the end of the day more rain could be gathering across Ireland and the far southwestern tip of England. Temperatures will be turning a little bit cooler as well, but still mild, so somewhere between around say 10 and 15 Celsius. Another weather front seems likely to push across the country on Thursday, so this is a very unsettled phase beginning to set up. This deep area of low pressure in the Central Atlantic just throwing up these rain bands across the country. So Thursday could again start off dry and bright in northern eastern parts, but cloud and rain in the west and southwest likely to spread across all parts. Even in the east, that rain could be quite heavy on Thursday afternoon, with further showers then starting to follow into the west and brighter skies. Temperatures again around 10 to 15 Celsius, something like that. Moving through into Friday, you see very little change with this pattern. Still this deep area of low pressure in the Central Atlantic, still throwing up further rain bands across the country. A little bit of uncertainty about the detail, of course, as we get to the end of the week, as always, but I suspect Friday could be a drier day until late on, when we may find another bout of rain beginning to move into Ireland and southwestern parts of England. Winds again come from a southerly direction, so it will be relatively mild, with temperatures of around 10 to 16 Celsius. And then we go through into next weekend, and it's staying unsettled actually, probably becoming even more unsettled, with this area of low pressure, if anything, starting to push in across the country. So that's the chart for Saturday. As we go through into Sunday, we can see that low pressure start to come centred right over the top of the country. So it implies anyway that we're likely to see increasing amounts of cloud and rain moving across the country on both Saturday and Sunday. As we start to cut off that southerly wind, the temperatures could start to take a bit of a dip as well. So by Sunday it could be feeling really quite chilly, with showers along the spells of rain, and temperatures taking a bit of a drop also. Finally, having a look at the charts from the Weather Outlook, just so you can see weather in your area over the coming week. So here we go for today. We've got all of this cloud and rain spreading across the country through the course of this afternoon, with brighter showery conditions and cooler conditions following up to the north. Fair amount of dry weather as we go through into Sunday, with sunny spells, but there will be cloud and rain in the far northwest of Scotland. And then as we move through into Monday, the focus of the rain really is in the west, with many central eastern parts of the country having a lot of dry weather, And that weather front makes very little progress as we move through into Tuesday, so further rain in the west with central eastern parts of the country staying dry, winds from the south, so it will be mild. As we move through into Monday, we're likely to see that cloud and rain spreading to the northeast of the country with more showery conditions following along behind. And then on Thursday and on Friday, it's going to be a case of showers or longer spells of rain with drier weather in between. So, in summary, it's going to be an unsettled week coming up. There'll be bouts of rain moving in from the Atlantic. I think much of the rain is going to be in the west for the first part of the week, then perhaps becoming a little bit more widespread from midweek through to the end of the week. But with winds from the south, at least it will be mild. That's all for now, and thanks for watching.